We will begin with our TNO meeting of March 19th. And if you saw me on the telephone, I'm not usually late starting our meeting, but I was speaking to OPG about the Ottawa River, and they gave me a very positive report about the Cheneau Dam, because we have some people who are watching, all of the mayors certainly are, the level of the Ottawa River, and some driving by the Cheneau Dam thought it was not open. So I have a little report on that. It's pretty good that they would phone us. They're at a public meeting themselves right now. And they're also going to give us, we needed a new contact for the Bryson Dam, because our current hydropotic person, Ms. Saint-Onge, who is leaving. And of course, we used to have a land pack cat who was very easy to reach. So I literally don't know who to call right now. So I'm going to be given for the Bryson Dam. Okay, I'm getting the number for the Bryson Dam.
I have the number that took place Saint-Onge.
Okay, so let's jump into the meeting now. And so we have the attendance sheet going around. Thank you very much. And I'd like to welcome, we have some mayors missing tonight. And so we have some pro-mayors. So we'll begin with Mavis Hannah from Clarendon, replacing Ed Walsh. And then we have Sydney Spray replacing Carl Mayer from Elena Kaywood. And we have Robert Wells from Thorne replacing Karen Kelly. And then we know that Alain Gagnon is away, and there is no one here from Bryson. And we're also missing representation from Fort Plunge. They had an emergency meeting tonight. Okay, so welcome everyone. Could I have a resolution to open the meeting? Moved by Councillor, and just to also, it's confusing, but with the TNO, I'm the mayor, and everyone seated around the table is a councillor. So it's Councillor Odie Godin. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Just to remind you that this meeting is being recorded and on Facebook Live, so we welcome our Facebook Live audience, and it will be available posted on our website tomorrow. I will read the Déclaration d'utilisation de la langue de son choix. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la NRC pour assurer une introduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the city to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. We go on to number 4, which is the Déclaration de la Préfète, or the Warden's Declaration of Decorum. Nous sommes élus par les gens de Pontiac pour les représenter au meilleur de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion, et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, je raterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Si cette personne refuse de s'excuser, je lui demanderai de quitter la salle. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and business-like manner. I'll be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. If the person refuses to apologize, I'll ask them to leave the room. Thank you. Je vais maintenant demander à Madame Lesage, DG et Verrière Trésorière, de lire un extrait du Code municipal du Québec, soit l'article 159. I will now turn to Ms. Lesage, DG and Clerk Treasurer, who will be reading an excerpt from the Municipal Code of Quebec, namely Section 159.
Le président du conseil maintient l'ordre et le décorum et décide que les questions d'ordre sont faites au conseil. Il peut ordonner l'expulsion de l'endroit où se tient une séance du conseil de toute personne qui en trouble l'ordre. The officer presiding over the sitting of the council maintains order and decorum and decides questions of order, saving appeal to council. He may order that any person disturbing a sitting of council be removed from the place where the sitting is held.
Thank you. Number 5, reading and adoption of the TNO agenda. Could I have a resolution to move the agenda? Moved by Councillor Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 6, are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will proceed. Number 7, the adoption of the minutes of the last sitting in February. A resolution moved by Councillor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 8. Public question period. Now this will be questions about the TNO agenda. Is there anyone here who would like to speak about that? Okay. Thank you. We go to finances. And we're delighted to have Annie Viancourt back. Welcome, Annie. Wonderful to see you again. All of us are very happy to see you. All right, so go ahead, please, with accounts paid.
Yeah, so for the TNO, we have an accounts receivable of $132,456.99. Most of that is a receivable from the Ministry of Natural Resources. And then in the bills that we paid in the last month, there was a couple $100 for a little bit of equipment and supplies. There was 2 bills paid to Réunion Construction for some bridges in the TNO, just over 203,000. For our audit, the first portion of the audit, that was $5,174. And there was gas for $101 on the visa. Total of $208,831.10.
Okay, thanks, Annie. Are there any comments or questions about Annie's report? Okay, could I have someone move the resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thanks, Annie. Now we go to Jason Durand, our Manager of Territory, for a request for authorization to use a sum of money from the Land Development Fund.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Maybe say where it's going to be spent.
Yes, for sure. L'inventaire de contact a le mandat d'effectuer des évaluations et des inspections municipales des bâtiments du TNO sur son territoire. Donc, l'hiver, c'est quand même une bonne période très propice là, pour ce genre de travail. Par contre, les inspecteurs vont avoir besoin des motoneiges et une remorque. Donc, malheureusement, ce type de dépense-là n'était pas prévu dans notre budget 2025. Donc, c'est pour ça que ça serait souhaitable qu'on puisse être autorisé à prélever 39 000 à même le fonds de mise en valeur spirituelle. Donc, the MRC Pontiac is mandated to carry out evaluation and municipal inspections of the TNO buildings on its territory. So winter is actually a great time to do this kind of work. However, the inspectors will need snowmobiles and a trailer. Again, this type of expense though was not included in our TNO budget for 2025. So that's why we're asking to be authorized to take $39,000 from the Fonds de mise en valeur statement.
Nate, could you just explain why you said the snowmobiles and trailers?
Yeah. Well, as you know, TNO was.
Someone at the mayor's had asked why couldn't it be an ATV? So just explain why.
Well, it's just because of the quantity of snow, and it's way easier and quicker to have access to territory with snowmobiles. And again, there's a lot of hunting camps. They're very hard to have access during summertime because the roads are very closed in and it's very long to go all around the lake. And so it's easier to just sometimes just cross across the lake when they're frozen, and we'll be able to be more plus efficace. Excusez mon anglais. Donc, ça va nous permettre d'être plus efficace pour avoir accès à certains camps. And the other thing as well, our inspectors are a lot less busier than during summertime because with beaver control and all that. So road maintenance and checking all those things. So it's a good time of year during winter to do that. And to be honest, there is a backup that we have to do. We're sort of behind on a lot of cases. So that's why it's important to recover that slack there.
Okay. Any comments or questions, Jason? Go ahead, Councillor Riviere.
Even though the money wasn't in the budget, we do have a substantial.
Exactly, like $39,000, like according to the money that there is in the Fonds de Valeur, it's not a big amount of money. And we did do a lot of looking for having the best deals when it comes for these snowmobiles. And this is actually would be, I think would be fortunate to take advantage of this, to buy them right away at a good price.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Councillor Squiddy.
Thanks. I think it's also important to note that this has been vetted through insurance and through CSSD. And all of those boxes have been checked. They will be having the Skidoo course, things like that. I think it's important the public to know that those things
Definitely,
are.
and this was
in
brought up
place.
actually at plenary, and yes, we did due diligence when it comes to that.
Yes,
We checked everything with the CNSSD themselves, and yes, we need to have a sort of a protocol when it comes to who's gonna use these snowmobiles, and after that, yes, you're right, there's some formation, some courses they will have to take. When it comes to be able to demonstrate to the CNSSD if there ever is something that we did everything in our possible to limit these type of potential accidents.
perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, good questions. Yes, Councillor Daniel.
Is there going to be some revenue from this?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, because again, like I said, for a reason, because it's still the Ministry of, it used to be the Ministry of Wildlife at the time that would manage the trapping camps. And there's a lot of trapping camps on our territory that are not actually paying tax on the buildings that they own. So this right there's a lot of these to go and to tag. We already have a good idea of them where they're located. And then again, there's a lot of hunting camps as well in cottages. That the role was not brought to date from a long time ago, so definitely there's a lot of these camps that have been, how can I say, there's been some modifications to them and they've been upgraded, so again, we'll be able to go and get some revenues regarding.
Just a minute, Councillor Hannah.
Well, maybe pulling a trailer, but
We have actually pickups here at the MRC.
and they would be
Yes,
accessible to that part.
yeah, so most of the times, you're right about that, a lot of our main roads will not be open, so this is the reason why we'll need the skidoos to have access to the territory. And again, for safety reasons, we'll try to have always we'll always have two of our inspectors together, and if there's a breakdown on one of the snowmobiles, we'll have a backup one to be able to make sure no one is in trouble.
Councillor Wells.
Is this for this year?
Well, actually, now we have the opportunity to have skidoos and a trailer, I think at a fair reasonable cost. Like I said, two brand new skidoos, well equipped to go in the TNO, plus a trailer for under $40,000.
I think he means, are you going up in the snow this winter?
No, not this yet. The thing is, at this point, is mostly trying to have these skidoos right away, to have them all set for next year, taking the courses and all that. However, we'll be starting inspections even during summertime.
And when they're not in use, we're told they'll be in the TNO garage, which is right there, the MRC. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, could I have someone please move the resolution, moved by Councillor Grantor. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried with a little help from my friends, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, could I have someone move a resolution to close the sitting? Moved by Councillor Odette Godin. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. And I just noticed, Mayor Merkley and Mayor Godin have not signed the attendance sheet, this one, so I'll just pass it back. Thank you very much. Well, somehow it passed you by. It's because I'm so quiet, and forget about me. Oh, okay. So now, we will begin our conseil des maires MRC de Pontiac public meeting of March 19th. Could I have a resolution to open the meeting, moved by Mayor Donnie Daniel? All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. to remind everyone that the meeting is being recorded on and is live on Facebook Live and will be found on our website tomorrow. Number 3 and 4, I have recently read the declaration of use of language of your choice and the statement by the warden, so I won't read them again. Number 5, reading and adoption of the agenda. Could I have someone approve this and move the resolution? Moved by Mayor Lucy, Rebate Bobcat. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Okay, seeing none. Number 7, could I have someone move the resolution to adopt the minutes of the last sitting in February? Moved by Mayor Odette Jordan. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Number 8, we're very lucky to have representing the Youth Council tonight, not our president, Aiden, because Aiden had 4 molars removed today. And so he has given the responsibility to our secretary, Charlie Sorio. So Charlie, please come, you can stand here, and I know you have a fairly soft voice, so speak out, we're all listening. Go ahead.
Well, tonight I'll be giving the MRC Pontiac Youth Council report. Aiden wishes he could be here and sends his regards. The first thing I'd talk about is an update on the driver's ed issues. So instead of bringing a company from like somewhere in Gatineau to the Pontiac, we'll contact the MRC Economic Development Department to see if they could assist in promoting an opportunity for someone in the Pontiac to start a driver's ed program as a business opportunity and perhaps finding an entrepreneur to start. Secondly, we are getting in contact with the 3 high schools in the Pontiac to begin to work together on issues and goals we have in common, like the issue of vaping in the schools. It would be more effective working together and would reach more students. Third, the Youth Council has decided to do a car wash and barbecue fundraiser, and it will take place May 24th, 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock here at the MRC. The funds will go to the information campaign on the harms of vaping. We will put the money towards informing the youth of the effects and consequences on vaping. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Well, we got a great job. And we hope everyone will just repeat the date again, because Mayor Cameron had a cough just as you were saying the date. We want the Facebook Live people to hear.
May 24th on a Saturday, 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock here at the MRC.
And it's a car wash and a barbecue, you say? Great. So all the mayors, make sure your cars are good and dirty, and we hope to see you all here. Thank you very much. You did a good job. Thank you, Charlie. Okay, and now I will give my report. Since our last council meeting, I attended the Western Quebec Literacy Council and on their board. I attended a special meeting on the Canada-US situation quite a while ago. Went to the CPO, as we do at least once a month, with Director General Lesage. Connection Fiber Picnic meeting. The MIFI, or Immigration Committee, is very active. We've actually had 3 meetings in the last month. The Flood Prevention Task Force, just a quick word on this. March 17th, Black Plunge in particular was at 106.45. Today it's at 106.62. And there has been, we're very lucky in the Pontiac to have 3 people with a lot of expertise, and they've been watching and they've been concerned, and even the Ottawa River Management Board said freshet has started early, which is the runoff of the spring water. And as I mentioned, I was just on the phone with Jennifer Gardner, and Jennifer Gardner wants to assure you with OPG that even though you don't see the sort of floodgates open, or whatever those gates open at the Chinook Dam, there are 3 different ways that the water goes through. And right now they're using a method which is actually letting 1,500 cubic meters per second go through. So it's almost at full force. And she is going to be contacting Hydro-Quebec, letting them know tonight that we are concerned about Bryson Dam. And so we really have a lot of expertise locally watching this, but as some of the mayors were saying, having our cold evenings at night is really helping to slow things down a little bit. And believe it or not, next Saturday, 45% chance of snow, Monday, 60% chance, and next Friday, 40%. So, you know, this again will help. Because it has started a little bit earlier, and I think many people think that we have more snow than usual, but the Ottawa River Management Board's comment on that is that it is not actually, in terms of the water that's in the snow, any different from, say, last year. So our flood prevention task force is meeting next week, and Julian, you featured in the equity this week with a lot of very good information. Thank you, and thanks to the equity for covering that. I had a meeting with DG Lesage, Carrie Richardson, and Nana to discuss compost plans. Went to the Western Quebecers event. I was talking about challenges for English-speaking people, and it was actually coordinated with Sophie Chattel. I was reading at the CAP with Rick Bellin. We meet with a group of residents there and read to them. Attended shop with Pontiac. Of course, everybody's being encouraged to shop locally. The Environment Committee, the FKIS, a new plan of action. The Director General evaluation is taking place and approved by the mayors. It was brought from the HR committee, and the HR committee had also approved and shared with the mayors the Director General's goals for the next year. And we will be meeting with her quarterly to just assess and maybe reevaluate some of your objectives and dates. But I think you're on track, and we just want to congratulate you for a very good evaluation and well deserved. All of you worked very hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
I attended a meeting in Gatineau with Minister Christopher Skeet and Minister Lacombe and the CAC Outaouais representatives with Benoit Lauzon, Prefet, as well as the Mayoress of Gatineau to talk about tariffs between Canada and the US and what we need to do with Ontario and within Quebec. And on that note, the FQM had actually sent something to all of us, to the municipalities, saying that actually I'll ask Pro Warden Armstrong just to describe what the FQM had asked, because your municipality has already adopted a motion anyways to do this, but you know, the request about sending out any types of contracts and who contracts should be with.
Could you repeat that?
Oh, sorry.
Corey was following me.
I'm just talking about your.
I apologize for bothering you instead of the people.
What your council moved a recommendation on?
Yes, so, yeah, well, we were doing that, and I think most of the municipalities are doing that by locally, with what's happening between the states and every other country. We said we will support what the government asks, like the Canadian government and our side, Quebec and Ontario also. So just to show support, we did pass a new bylaw that will be adopted on April the 2nd. So there is something very important on that new policy though, is we want to buy locally, but at a certain price also. So as soon as we pass it, it's going to be available to put online on our Facebook or our webpage. And the price, we gave ourselves our right to go and see the local people and say, I can have this at a certain price and get snow or whatever. What can you do as good as? And in that, we considered the, how would I say that? We considered if we went to get it, how much it would cost in gas, and if the person works from us, how many hours would he be on the road and stuff like that. So that would be considered in the percentage. So as we go, the different prices, there's certain percentage that can
surpass and easily.
Okay, great. And thank you very much for Warden Armstrong. And Kim has just clarified something to me. Although it came through FQM, it actually was also from municipal affairs that we've been sent. So Kim will just quickly highlight what we've
Yeah,
asked.
just to mention, it was one of our councilors, Sebastien Deneau, that brought it to the table.
Good.
So we can discuss it, and then we passed it along in the meeting,
That's
and
wonderful. So maybe many other municipalities are also going to do that or have done that. So that's great. Go ahead, Director General Lesage.
Yeah, so the new bylaw with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, so for municipal entities, and that includes the MRC. If we go to a direct award for a contract, what it's called, you have to have it with a business that has a place in Quebec. If not, you have to have a resolution for council to go and say, give a contract to somebody in Ontario. If it's for by invitation, then they want us to go for somebody that has an establishment in Quebec. And if you have to go to a public call for tender on the SEAO Quebec website, then there could be some tariffs, like a penalty that you increase their price if it comes from the US by 10 to 25%. So that's what we got last week.
Excellent. Thank you very much for this, for enlightening us. Did an interview with Francois Paradis, investment committee. We approved funding for 7 projects in the Pontiac. Presentation on the natural choice, which is the marketing initiative for the Outaouais, to get the Outaouais to work together and become a stronger region compared to the other 89 regions in Quebec. And we actually had a nice surprise. The prefect of Papineau came, Benoit Lozon, and was here with us at our plenary meeting. Youth Council, preparation for plenary promotion campaign for mental health. Another immigration meeting, met with some forestry investors, attended the Shawville Council. They had a very interesting meeting about a proposed housing project, which was accepted unanimously. Mayor McCleary, yes. Plenary meeting, Bryson's Lions Club meeting. I was sworn in as a new member. Mark Bilodeau gave me a call and outlined the cuts before his press conference. They were asked to cut 90 million, they've cut 60 million. And with that, yes, you know, we hate to see cuts, especially in a region like ours that is already not receiving sufficient funding. But I admire our PDG, Mark Bilodeau, because he knew that he had no choice. He took the task, he did it. But we have to fight against the further 30 million cut, because that will really devastate things. And the result for the Pontiac of the $60 million cut is 4 positions that were cut, and mainly administration. And in, I think, a couple of cases, the people are being redeployed, which is a good thing. We had a meeting of the committee territorial, a special budget meeting as a result of that, with Nicole Boucher Riviere, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. St. Patrick's dinner. Well, St. Patrick's, I think, was celebrated all over the Pontiac for about 4 days, and I'm sure many of you were. Did you have something at the Manor by any chance?
Just for the rest.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so anyways, I went to the Patro for the Jeune de Fur dinner. Then I went to the Bryson Lions Club dance, and then Pontiac Legion Campbell's Bay. They celebrated 4 days. And actually, Director General Lesage has now become a member, right? And Raymond Pilon is a member. They're hoping that other mayors will join. It is our only legion. Then John Stewart had a meeting with him, attended the pickleball at SSA, which is the space is being provided free of charge. Is there anyone around the table that plays pickleball? Do you?
The odd time I go to the community
The
center.
one in Chapo? Excellent. And you really,
It's a work day.
it's a work.
For me.
Well, it's been touted as something for seniors, but let me tell you, they tried to hand me a paddle and I just was there as an observer. But it's great to see. It's really attracting a lot of interest, and you know, we're kind of short of amenities here, and so this is a way to get inexpensively people exercising. We had partnership consultation with the packed meat fee at the Little Red Wagon. Rochelle was there, as well as Director General Lesage and myself, and the Shoot for Lunch Board meeting. Any questions on my report? So we will go on to announcements. So we just leave it this way. If anyone has an announcement, we'll start at this end of the table. Just say that you'd like to say something about something going on in your municipality and, okay.
Have a little announcement,
Mayor
the
Pilon?
Pontiac Lions Club are having a duck race on April 19th. It's down by the little bridge there on Main Street. So the race starts at 1 p.m. Barbecue from 11 to 1. Tickets are going fast, so if you're interested in buying a ticket for a duck, you can contact one of the members, or they sell them at Langford's and at Dean's also.
Okay, great. Thank you. Acting Mayor Sweet.
Yes. So our thrift store in Aileen and Kaywood is thriving. There's current promotion, fill a small bag for $5, large bag for $10. On Saturday, we had an information session on how to apply for a reassessment in your property evaluation. We had 55 members in person for the first session, 50 for the second session. Only the first session was live streamed on Facebook, and we are currently sitting at 6,100 views. So I think we've reached quite a few people.
Well done. Good for you. Any other announcements?
Not from
Mayor
me.
McCleary?
Surprised this got passed before Mayor Hannah, but the Lions Society bingo first Wednesday of every month, and she can give you details as to prizes.
I know, I'm representing the outside.
That's all right, but do you know anything about the prizes or anything you'd like to add?
Oh, well, then if I'm speaking on behalf of that, the bingo is every Wednesday, every first Wednesday of the month. The prize is $2,000. The last game is $1,000 game, and you can buy extra cards for the $1,000 game. Plus, the Fair Board is also hosting their CMP musical ride on June 1st, and we're going to have it as a full community day. That's a Sunday. We're gonna have it as a full community day with show and shine and lots of other events. And we have been promoting it. So far, we're up to over 700 in attendance through the Facebook app.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to add, Mayor McCleary? Okay.
I'm not ready for this month, but you can check my Facebook page.
Okay, very good, very good. Yes. Just wondered if you had anything to say, no? Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to add something? Okay, Mayor Corey Spence.
Just want to announce that West Pontiac Connects on April 14th at Carrington Hall will have spring bingo as well. 55 plus for the seniors. And the other thing I'd like to bring to everybody's attention, in case you were not aware, two residents of Pontiac have received the King Charles III coronation medal. One of them being a resident of the Zalinet, Jean and Brian, and the other one being a resident of Waltham, who everybody knows, who's on the Berry. So the criteria for that is they have made a significant contribution to Canada, a particular province, territory, or region within the community, or made an outstanding achievement or brought that brings credit to Canada. And that's the first criteria. The other one is they have to be born May 6th to 2023 and before. So I think they read that. First one's the important one.
Thank you for mentioning that. That was very, very impressive and important.
Yeah.
For us to recognize. Thank you. Mayor Donnie.
I'd like to mention next Friday, residence mayor draw. 50-50 draw takes place, and I think they have some meals and food there too. And also, I'd like to tell you to save June as a date. It's our Culbute Festival. It's to celebrate our heritage, and more details to follow in the coming months. I don't have all the information right now.
Is this an annual event or is it
No, this is,
something that hasn't happened?
It hasn't happened. It's the 150th anniversary of the Cultural Locks.
Locks.
So,
Wonderful, thank you very
full
much.
day event, but I don't have all the details yet.
Excellent, well, thank you very much. Made a note of it, June 28th. Okay, now we will have our public question period. And if you'd like to speak, just put up your hand and I can recognize you. Paul Hoffman from up the podium. If you stand right there, we can all see you. Yes, yeah, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, I won't take too much of your time,
Okay,
because I know that you're all busy, you got civic leaders, especially with the economic development of the economy. And that's why I'd like to take a couple moments of your time. So I'm here this evening representing the People's Party of Canada, the PPC, in the forthcoming federal election. I'm asking you as civic leaders to look at our platform. We have 16 points to our platform. But for this evening, I just want to talk to you about one of them, which would concern your role here, which is interprovincial trade barriers. Living in the Pontiac, we know about this for decades, interprovincial trade barriers. It's only become more aware lately with the tariffs that have been brought in, and all the other political parties are galvanized towards this to try to eliminate these barriers. Well, since 2018, the PPC, this has been one of our original 16 planks. The others are starting to get on board with it there now. I want you though to consider that the other parties came on late to this, and some of them have tried it before in 1994 and 2017 and failed. We believe that their approach to eliminate these barriers were wrong. The PPC will have 3 prongs to this approach. We will right away on day 1 appoint an internal trade minister. Number 2, we'll work to harmonize standards, which under the Constitution, the federal government has authority to have free trade between the provinces. That's not up to the provinces to unilaterally decide what can be crossed and what can't. And that's what we want to do. We all know the problems that it causes businesses. I'm sure in every one of your municipalities, you know of an instance of either a business or an individual where the interprovincial trade barriers has hindered on, whether it be agricultural products such as meat, wine, alcohol, cider, whether it be professional tradespeople, people that have occupation where their accreditation is an honor in the other province. It can even be just with certain things, for example, with CAA, you're a Quebec resident and you break down in Bancroft, Ontario, and you want to get your vehicle towed back to Quebec, will only bring this far as the border. Then you have to get another tow truck to pick it up. So there's these problems that occur every day. So, I would really like for you all to in the next month or so to really consider, think of instances in your municipality where these interprovincial trade barriers have hindered your businesses and your population. That will be one of the main talking points that I'll be working on. I'm very passionate about it. Like you, I've lived with it for many, many years. In 1999, I was one of many tradespeople who were at the 3 bridges from the Pontiac over to Ontario, protesting on it about labor mobility, freedom of labor mobility. So, we want to really, really work hard on that. $200 billion a year that this will inject into the Canadian economy by eliminating these barriers. Yeah, 200 billion. It'll increase competitiveness within companies in Canada. It'll increase productivity. Canada in the G8 is the least productive country. So by increasing our competition, we have to be more productive. And we're also giving Canadians more freedom of choice to buy goods that are Canadian made, and we don't have to rely on our southern neighbors as much. So if any questions, if anybody has any questions at all, you probably know how to get a hold of me. You go to Facebook, anything like that. But it's just more or less a question for you all. Just consider that. I'm sure you do. You see it every day, but have a look at our platform. Thank you.
thank you very much, Todd. Next person, Angela Drew.
Angela Drew, Aileen Haywood, and I understand that tonight on the agenda, there is a resolution that will be presented by Aileen Haywood to, pause the legal proceedings against Aileen Haywood for non-payment of shares. So Aileen Haywood have been, challenging this for many months now. Our shares in 2023 were 112,000, and in 2024, they went to 289. And that was based on a comparative factor of 3.7, which, as we're all aware, is no longer a real number. So we've tried in this room to try to come to some agreement. It hasn't happened, so Aileen and Haywood have gone to municipal affairs and asked them to pay the difference, and that difference is $138,000. So while we are waiting to hear back from municipal affairs, we're very hopeful that all of you in this room will vote in favor of pausing the legal actions against Aileen and Haywood, because I don't think anyone in this room wants to take one of their own to court if it can be helped. And again, I think that we need your support, not court, and I said that last month too. So please consider the impact, and when you're sitting at this table, you are a counselor of the MRC Pontiac, looking out for the best interests of the Pontiac, not a mayor of your municipality. So please, let's keep this collaboration going and consider pausing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next person, please come up.
So it's not
Just a moment, please, I know, just you, it's Christine Andrews, I just
Yes.
wanted to announce you. Go ahead.
Thank you. So it's actually not too much different than Angela, but I would like to also encourage all the mayors tonight, and this is a question to the mayors. And I would like you to tonight you're going to be asked to vote on a resolution presented by Haywood and Newman. And I want you to keep in mind that the predicament that they find themselves in could just as easily be in your municipality. And in such a case, you would hope that the other municipalities would be supportive of your plight. So taking one of your own to court signals a failure of this MRC's ability to be creative in resolving problems and exploring all options. And regardless of the outcome of this court case, the winners and losers won't be the MRC or Haywood and Newman. The winners will be the lawyers, and the losers are the citizens of the Pontiac. If you follow the money, that's the winners and the losers. So my question to the mayors is, how will we vote tonight?
Thank you. Thank you. Next person. Anyone else like to speak? No? Okay, thank you. So now we'll go on to general administration. And 12.1 is the request for a pause in legal proceedings from Elaine Haywood. And because Carl Mayer is absent, I will ask his acting mayor, Sydney Squiddy, to please read the resolution so everyone knows.
Yes.
So this resolution was passed at our last council meeting, states whereas the municipality of Aileen and Haywood has not yet paid its 2024 shares to the MRC Pontiac. Whereas the municipality has requested compensation in the amount of $138,490.04 from the des Affaires Municipales, MAMASH, to cover the difference in shares owed to the MRC Pontiac. Whereas the MRC Pontiac has initiated legal proceedings to cover the unpaid amount. Whereas it would be prudent to await formal response from MAMASH before proceeding with legal action, as this response may impact the financial situation and obligations of the municipality of Aileen and Haywood. Therefore, it is it was proposed and resolved unanimously that the MRC Pontiac pause all legal proceedings related to the non-payment of 2024 shares by the municipality of Aileen and Kaywood until a formal response is received from Mamash regarding potential financial assistance. So to sum that up, we are asking for a pause in the court case until we have a firm final answer in our negotiations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
Can I ask someone to move the resolution?
Question?
Question, Mayor McCleary?
Is there any proposal to pay the other amount? It's not the $139,000?
Yeah, as I had, as I previously explained, it was in plenary, so I'll explain it again. What, our lawyer has proposed that we do is put the remaining balance, I believe it's 158,000, into a trust with the courts until the case is settled, and we are by all means willing to do that. We are currently in the process of doing that, of giving him the money to put into a trust.
Why not just pay it to the MMC?
His advice is not to.
How is that pausing it then? You're continuing it.
Okay, just a moment, sorry, Odie. Next question is, Mayor Corey Spence.
Yeah, so just so I understand correctly, to finish what you're saying.
Yes.
Is that you were looking to get payment from the MASH?
Yes.
And there's going to be a process there for that.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure everybody understands that although that there's a difference of funding there that you're looking for.
Yes.
Some of the funding that's still remaining.
Yes.
Is needed for the operation of the MRC,
Yeah.
which is the rest of these council members. So
Yes.
that needs to be brought to light. And I'm sure if you would like to go through your legal route to do that, that's fine. But my question is, how long do you believe the illegal proceedings will be so that we know how long the NRC has to operate without that money?
That I can't answer that. As you know, government moves slowly. I think a possibility of what the MRC could do in the interim to not affect their budget is take that money from the surplus, $2 million surplus, and replace it when and if you win the court case. Because what's the MRC's plan if you do lose the court case? Where will we come up with those funds then?
Okay.
Has that been accounted for? Is that a plan?
Question, Mayor LaRiviere.
That's an exception.
Okay, there's a lot of questions here.
There are.
The first question is, so you want the MRC to put it on hold,
On hold, yes.
but you have no idea how long it's gonna take? And in the meantime, interest continues to build, and I'm not sure of the amount, but is it 30?
It was 35,000 at the end
Yeah.
of December. and I
So it's
haven't had an update.
$35,000 a year, so we're talking at least a year.
Yep.
So you're looking at
Possibly a year, we don't know.
$70,000 in interest.
We could have a response tomorrow. We don't know. We honestly don't know.
I don't know, but maybe it would be definitely good. Just
Started to find out.
We are in talks with municipal affairs. There is a meeting tomorrow, as well as in-person meetings in April in Quebec City. So,
Okay, and I also have a hard time understanding why it's not viable to pay the first amount, like the initial amount.
The party
I know-
supported.
maybe something can be worked out
Well,
between our lawyer and the lawyer of the
Well,
MRC.
I think that would be a major step.
That's
And then
something they
maybe
can,
after that, you could come back with a motion of that sort.
That's something that they can
Those
discuss.
are the questions, Mayor Betty Cameron has a question.
I'd like to know, did you collect the municipal taxes based on
Yes, we did.
the shares?
Yes,
So
we did.
you have collected the full amount then?
We have,
I know there's always a few that can't pay
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
yeah,
but you did collect
Yes,
the
we
full
did.
amount,
yes, we did.
okay?
We most definitely did. But what we're asking tonight is that you pause this. It's not going to. If this takes a year, not the only one who would be punished in the end of this would be us with interest. So save the ratepayers of the MRC any money in the interim. with legal fees by pausing it. We don't want our fellow Pontiacers to have to pay because of this, as much as we don't want our ratepayers to have to pay because of this and to pay an inflated amount that is no longer true. So this is what we're fighting for, and we don't want our neighbors to have to suffer as well.
Okay, next hand up is for Warden Sandra
I
Armstrong.
feel really bad for your residents. And there's 1,000 questions in my head right now. But what comes back to me right now, Sydney, and with all regards of respect towards you, is last December, when you went to the podium and you said, our residents are behind us even with the amount of interest.
Yes, they are.
Well, they are, so we all need the 18 municipality to pay our shares.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if we're from another municipality or not, it's out of respect, we pay our bills.
And we agree, we should pay our shares, we have no problem paying our shares. Our issue is paying our shares on a false number that no longer exists. It's like, think you get a T4, right, from your employer.
I get that, I know all about that.
It's the same principle.
I respect that, but the
It's the same
thing is,
principle.
that bill came in and the evaluation problem is that it's the FQM that goes around and does the evaluation about our houses.
And
then we have, and
evaluate.
the only power we have in our municipality is the midway. So I don't know what happened, like.
What happened
with your mill rate? Did you put it down?
We did lower our mill rate. What happened is the FQM came and we.
The ruling, we can't have a debate right now. We have a resolution on the floor presented by acting Mayor Squitty. And so at this point, could I have someone, would you like to move the resolution?
Yes, and there
Acting Mayor
was
Squitty?
ample time to debate this at plenary, which we did. So I don't think that this came as a surprise to anybody, as it was
Not at all.
discussed then.
We knew it was.
So I think tonight we owe the people of the Pontiac, not just people of Alien, people of the Pontiac, a yes or a no.
Okay, thank you very much. So moved by Pro-Mayor, Acting Mayor Sydney Squitty. All those in favor of the postponement? All those opposed to the postponement?
I would be in favor if they would pay the other portion.
Okay, so that failed because we had the majority of mayors voting in opposition.
I would like it clearly recorded in the minutes who voted yes.
Yes,
Yeah, with names.
if it had been a close vote, I was going to do that, but I think this is a good request, so.
Good
Please put up your
governance.
hands again if you were in favor of the postponement. So for yes, we have Thorne, we have Otter Lake, and we have Elaine and Haywood. And in opposition to the postponement, put up your hands. We have Chichester, Little Calumet, Sheenborough, Portage, Calumet, Bristol, Waltham, Mansfield, Shawville, Rapides-Washan, Litchfield, Campbell's Bay, Portage, and Clarendon. And we also note that no vote, you can put your hand down now. I did, I said Calumet.
Sorry.
Little Calumet.
Oh, merci.
Yes, and also it should be recorded that we were missing a few votes either way tonight because Bryson is not represented, neither is Fort College. And is that it? Just the two? Thank you very much. Okay, we will now go on to 12.2, a resolution for bylaw 299-2024, management of sittings of the council of the MRC Pontiac. It's a resolution and I have just, it won't take long, but I want to just bring to the attention of our public in particular, and also the mayors at the table, that we had, we've spent a lot of time on this. First of all, to correct one thing based on what's been written in social media, etc. This is not from the MRC Pontiac. This has come from FQM as a result of over 1,000 people who were elected in 2021 stepping down. because of perhaps a lot of harassment, abuse, and just finding it very difficult to be an elected person in today's climate. And so the FQM took it seriously and recommended some council sitting regulations, but our own MRC felt it was important to listen to Pontiac Independent, citizens of the Pontiac. Linda Davis had some good points, Linda Lafortune, and there's another organization maybe I have not mentioned, help me with this. Anyways, we really wanted to listen and read and respond to the requests from the public. So as a result, this bylaw, the internal management bylaw for MRC council sittings, establishes rules to govern the conduct of council debates and to maintain order and decorum during sittings. In accordance with the corresponding provisions of the municipal code, we must also present any differences between the draft bylaw that was filed and the bylaw being submitted for passing this evening. Changes which are not such as to change this object or purpose of the bylaw. So in number one, in Article 10, concerning the model agenda, we will now be adding the following heading: Report Youth Council. Number 2, addition of Article 10.1 concerning the posting and printing of to reflect the MRC's current practice in this regard. Article 10.1, the agenda for any regular or special sitting is published on the MRC website. A paper copy is also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the MRC building. On the day of the sitting, copies of the agenda are also printed and made available to members of the public inside the room where deliberations take place, as well as at the MRC welcome kiosk located in the building's lobby. So when you come in and sign in, you can pick up a copy of the agenda. The request for 6 days ahead of time was not practical. We were not able to do that, but you people will find the agenda posted on the Monday morning prior to, because 72 hours is actually including Sunday. So although work is being done, the agenda will be posted on the Monday morning before council meeting. Number 3, a second paragraph is added to Article 14 concerning recording devices. Article 14 says, it is forbidden to film and photograph inside the place where municipal council sittings are held, and the use of any photographic device, video camera, television camera, or other is prohibited. The change has been made to, this provision does not apply to journalists or members of the press, and at the discretion of the presiding officer may be waived when the context so requires. Number 4, question period. Question period now becomes question and statement period. Where required, so it means that you don't just have to ask a question, you can make a statement, it will still be 5 minutes. B, where required, changes made to Articles 16 to 26 of this section and to the model agenda to reflect the above mentioned change to the title of the section. Number 5, in Article 17.1, addition of a sentence concerning the duration of the second question period. Article 17.1 now reads as follows. Notwithstanding Article 17, a second question period of up to 10 minutes may be held at the end of the sitting if there are further questions addressed to the council. And we've added, at the discretion of the presiding officer, this second question and statement period may be extended by 20 minutes for a maximum total duration of 30 minutes. B, corresponding change regarding the maximum total time allotted to the second question period in the agenda model, Article 10, maximum 30 minutes. Number 6, modification to Article 31 regarding the reading of draft resolutions submitted. During the debate, the person presenting a proposed resolution also reads it out as Pro-Mayor Squiddy did tonight. Original proposal or amendment, the presiding officer or the clerk treasurer at the request of the presiding officer may also read it out. So at our future meetings, starting in April, we will be reading out all resolutions. Number 7, addition of a sentence to Article 42 concerning the replacement or repeal of current bylaw 116-2005 concerning question period, Article 42. This bylaw replaces and repeals bylaw 116-2005 pertaining to the question period at council meetings of the regional, county, municipality, of Pontiac. This bylaw will come into force according to the law. And yes, they've heard enough of my voice.
C'est une résolution pour adopter le règlement 299-2024. Qui s'appelle Régie interne des séances du conseil dans les MRC de Pontiac. Alors, c'est pour adoption. So this is a internal management accounts bylaw number 299-2024. So whereas the section 491 of Municipal Code of Quebec allows the council to adopt regulations to govern the conduct of council debates and to maintain order and decorum during sittings. Whereas the regional county municipality of Pontiac wishes to act to maintain order and decorum during municipal council sittings, where it's appropriate for the council to adopt a bylaw to this effect. Whereas the notice of motion was given at the sitting of October 16th, 2024. Whereas the draft bylaw was presented and filed at the sitting of February 19th, 2025. Therefore, it's proposed and resolved that the following bylaw be adopted. And this would be replacing our bylaw of 2005.
And it will take effect in April.
Correct.
Okay, could I have someone move this resolution moved by Mayor Lucy Rivet Paquette? All those in favor? Opposed? And so opposed by Mayor Quayle and pro Mayor Squiddy.
And then let's have a moment to speak.
How about after I announce it is carried? Thank you very much. Would you like to say something?
We could have had a discussion when the motion was on the floor.
The discussions before the vote.
I can't support this new bylaw. It doesn't go nearly as far enough as it should in terms of greater openness and transparency. And paying attention to what people would appreciate happen here. For example, the need to share and the desire to share resolutions in advance of the public meeting so that the people who attend and view online have access to a copy online, just as we mayors do. And that's just one item that has been ignored in this revision.
I would just like to add too that I think there was a lot of room for improvement, as you yourself, Warden Toller, has stated in one of the articles. This was a guideline. Nothing was written in stone. We could make it our own. I think we missed that opportunity. And it could have been a lot more beneficial for the people of Pontiac had we thought about it a little bit more.
Okay, thank you. I think most MRCs in Quebec just took the FQM template and we actually took it and made many changes. So, but thank you for your comments. And the other thing I would like to add is that in terms of open plenary meetings, that vote is taking place in April. That's not part of this. Go ahead.
I just want to mention something about the process. So you guys made a good point about your discussion. Just going forward before the vote, that's when we need to, that way there we can have those discussions to give everybody a chance.
Yeah,
that would have been a good thing to put into this bylaw, is to have the discussion sort of before the vote, which is not currently.
Typically, my understanding of the way it's supposed to work, someone puts a motion forward, and you may, depending on how it's done, could be needed to be seconded. If it doesn't get seconded, it could get turned down right away.
Yes.
But at least when it comes up to the motion and it gets seconded, then the discussion start and vote is. That's how my understanding is, or how we do it at our council.
When the opportunity is allowed.
That's correct. And
Mayor
to add something to Corey's point on discussion around the motion before us. We need to hear from everybody and give everyone a chance to speak. This previous motion on the pause and the Haywood court proceedings. With the chairperson interrupted discussion between Sandra and
I just
Sydney.
interrupted the debate.
And then no one else, but I think it's the chairperson's responsibility to ask whether everyone has had
a chance to speak to the issue,
I
and that didn't happen. So-
I asked if there were any further questions, and I think
No,
we had about
actually,
5 or 6 questions. Anyways, I'm not, what is your point?
well, you used the gavel and said that's enough speaking, and no, at a point when someone isn't speaking, and everyone has a debate.
Okay, so you
Yes.
know, I'm going to take your point as constructive criticism. Thank you very much. And I'll try to do a better job.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So we have completed this item and we're going now to finances. Anybody for it? 13.1 financial report.
Yes, so this is the MRC financial report for the month of March. We have accounts receivables for $2,445,238. There's just under 700,000 of that is from the loans. And there's also, most of the rest is from the chair invoices. Then we have a list of bills that need to be paid, so that's a total of $118,832.88. We have a bill from Canada, so that's in Limited Canada for $23,000 for wetland mapping. We also have a bill from the FQM for part of their contract for the services for the assessment, so that's just a little over 25,000. We have a bill for our ID side software, $500. We have our bill from the municipality of Campbell's Bay for services like water and garbage and sewage. We have another bill from the SADC for some training, that's almost $6,000. Then we had some work done in the parking lots and lights and on our billboard lights from Valley today, so that was $8,400. And then there's a bunch of other little bills as well in there. Then we had checks that we paid in the last month for $443,343.19. There were a few FR Stream 2 grants to municipalities and the Association Chasse et Pêche de la Petite Joachim. We also paid Transportation and MPQ grant of $135,000 that we received here, and then we just transferred over to Transportation. We had some of the floors redone in the building, so that was with Toiture Boudet. There were some private businesses as well that received FR grants. We paid our visa, hydro, and all the rest of that stuff, phone bills. Then we have travel expenses for the month of February, so that's $1,539.44. And yeah, so we're almost through the first quarter of the year, so which means we'll have our budget committee and just look at where we are so far, but everything is rolling smoothly. We're sitting at a surplus right now between what we have in revenues and expenses, so we have like a 441,000 surplus as of today or yesterday.
Okay, any comments or questions on Annie's report? Can I have someone move the resolution, please? Moved by Pro Board and Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thanks, Annie. 13.2, 2024 activity report of the treasurer.
Well, this is
Concerning 2021 or since 2021.
Yes, so this is the activity report of the treasurer for the election, so this is concerning the 2021 election. It's a formality that we have to do once a year, is to show the report and send a resolution and send the report over to the DGAQ. So it just shows in this report the result of the elections between the two candidates, the total allotted expenses, and then the total that was spent by each candidate. There's been no change. The result or the report from last year was exactly the same. So you see the amounts that were reimbursed to each candidate there as well. And yeah, I think that's it. So it's the exact same thing as we saw last year. So.
Okay, any comments or questions? Okay, thank you. And so we do need to have a resolution. Moved by Mayor Odette Godin, all those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thank you very much, Jenny. Okay, management of territory, Jason Durand. That's me. Oh, that's Carrie. It's Carrie Richardson. All right, environment 14.1.1. Grant for implementation of the regional wetlands and water management plan, PRMHH resolution. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi. So the warden received communication from the Ministry of the Environment confirming MRC's eligibility to get some funding for implementing our regional wetlands plan. So this following resolution is authorized the signing of the funding agreement for $289,000.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And so we need a resolution. Why do we need a resolution?
To allow him to sign this agreement.
Oh.
Money to get, money to get.
Why do we need to vote on receiving money from the government? All right, moved by Mayor Doris Ronche. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. And next, 14.1.2, call for tenders for the collection and transportation of recyclable materials. Carrie.
So we have an agreement with Echo Quebec to help us drafting our tender agreements for recyclable materials. But as part of our agreement with them, we have to send a draft of our tender documents for them to review a minimum of 21 days before we publish them. So this resolution is to go ahead and send our draft tender documents to QEQ, and then following their suggestions to go ahead and publish it on the public tender.
Okay, great. Question?
Yeah.
Mayor Corey Spence.
Once you send the draft out, they look at the draft, then does it come back here for review?
Yes, yeah,
First
and then we
before-
can take their modifications into consideration before we get to publish them on site.
Okay.
And that will be shared through Environment Committee and on to the council there. So that's wonderful. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Would you like to move that resolution, Mr. Chair?
I'll move that.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thanks, Carrie. We go to public safety, and we have the massage of Julian Gagnon. First of all, is an appointment of Madame Odette Godin. Go ahead.
Yes, very simply, our fire safety committee, CSI committee, is making a change to one seat where we would appoint Mayor Odette Godin to the committee.
Okay,
Simple
thank you.
resolution.
I'd like someone to move it, moved by Mayor Colleen LaRiviere. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 15.2, adoption of the 2024 annual report revised fire safety cover plan. Julian.
Oui, donc ce qui concerne le schéma de couverture de risque en incendie pour la MRC Pontiac. So this applies to our fire safety cover plan. Our annual activity report is a report submitted by each municipality and the MRC to the Ministry of Public Security each year. To give you a summary of our responsibilities, they can be dictated as follows. The MRC is responsible for building inspections of medium, high, and very high risk buildings across the territory, essentially our commercial buildings. Maintaining an operational frequency for each fire department on the territory. Building inventory of all buildings on the territory of the MRC. Coordination of the fire safety cover plan, maintaining a regional consultation and fire safety committee, as we just changed the composition of it previously. And the coordination and organization of training for our local fire. So all of this data is submitted to the ministry through this report, for which we require a resolution.
Thank you very much. Moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. And 15.3, the firefighter 1 training in Pontiac High Schools. Julian.
Yes, it's a very important subject tonight. I'd like to read the resolution just to give you some context to the program, and then I'll discuss it a little more after. Considering the firefighter 1 program offered at École Secondaire de Coulonge, SSA, starting in the 2023-24 school year. Considering the program aims to provide basic training in firefighting techniques and enables the acquisition of essential skills. Considering the many other benefits associated with this training, including the possibility of alleviating some shortages on our local fire services. Considering the success of the program at the SSA makes it possible to consider extending the program to 2 other Pontiac high schools. Considering the program is eligible for the financing through the Ministry of Public Security grant for firefighter training. This resolution proposes to allow Kim Lesage, DG, to take the necessary steps to submit a grant application to extend the training to our Western Quebec school boards, high schools of the Pontiac. So essentially, the program at SSA at the high school in Mansfield is in its final stages. Students are asked, are going to be completing the course by their final graduation date of June of this year, at least for those that are in grade 11. We would like to extend this program to the Western Quebec School Board high schools, and the high schools have allowed us to initiate the process with them. What we would need tonight from the MRC mayors is a resolution that the MRC would apply for the grant and pay for any expenses, as minimal as they may be, over on top of the grant if our excess costs are over and above the amount of the grant. Historically, so far, we are within the parameters of the grant. Of course, we never know. The grant is only eligible when firefighters complete successfully the course. So in the event that a few of them do not complete it, we may not receive the grant that we are expecting. That being said, it has been a resounding success. We do have within a few months, we lost 2 students, unfortunately, at the SSA, but from that point on, through 2 years of hard work, the 16 remaining.
You lost it, you just mean that they were not able to.
They did not,
Firefighting.
they resigned from the program. But from then on, the 16 students did continue, have successfully gone through 2 years of training and will be completing their training. Will be fully fledged firefighters by June of this year. So it's a great success story. We would like to extend that to the Pontiac High School and Dr. William High School, barring any logistical issues. We should be able to complete that successfully.
And on behalf of the mayors, we all feel you have been very instrumental, Julian. You deserve a lot of credit. And we just think that this really is guaranteeing a future of having sufficient coverage for fire safety in Pontiac. So thank you very much for your, it's been a lot of extra time on your hands. And just your interest working with the kids and with certain, teachers like this Martin Bertrand was.
I couldn't have done it without the municipalities and
the support of all the mayors. That's right. Well, thank you. Just one. Yes, and on that, we need a resolution. Who would, but it was moved, was it moved by Johnny? No, you were. Correct. Who would like to move this? Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Okay, thank you. Regional infrastructure. 16.1, the demand for financement grant request. Kim, resolution.
On a besoin d'une résolution pour appliquer pour un programme, un plan d'intervention pour l'aide à la voirie locale. C'est un programme qui s'appelle le PAVL. So the MRC Pontiac is taking cognizance of the terms and conditions for the applications of the new plan d'intervention program. So this is for an intervention plan for our level 1 and level 2 roads in each municipalities. We wish to submit a request for financial assistance to the Ministère des Transports for the preparation of this intervention plan. The program opens April 1st. So it would there be recommended to present this request for financial assistance to confirm our commitment to develop the intervention plan in accordance to the terms and conditions, and to have financial assistance, and also for myself to authorize to sign any document or agreement to this effect.
Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Brent. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Thank you, Tim. Economic development, Terry Leclerc. There you are. 17.1, investment committee recommendations.
Good evening, everyone. Recommendations committee didn't snap. So we had a recommendation from the investment committee to support 6 local businesses with PSE grants. to the total of $195,910. So, it's basically, supporting our businesses, our local businesses. So you can see the individual, the individual grants were up there. So we need a resolution to, be able to support this.
Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Who would like to move this? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 17.2, reserves for doubtful debts on loans, resolution.
So provision pour créances coûteuses sur les frais c'est une recommandation de CDC. So these are cautionary measures for a couple of loans that were given out over the past couple of years, one from the fleet, one from the phone. So one is, the resolution is proposé et résolu de provisionner les créanciers douteux sur les frais fleet et montant au montant de 30 593 et sur le frais pont au montant de 31 023 $. And this will be effective in 2024.
Okay, thank you. And our Director General has just reminded me, and you know this too, that this was a recommendation of our auditor.
Auditor. Yes. Correct. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Lucy Ridley-Paquette. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries.
I'm opposed, sorry, I would like that to be recorded.
Okay,
I-
you're-
But I oppose.
You
this.
oppose that? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I feel if one debt is taken to court and challenged, all debts should be taken to court and challenged. The MRC sets precedent for one, it should apply to all. Thank you.
17.3 FRR 2 2024-2025 budget.
As the end of financial contract between Mamash and the MRC approaches, which is basically due at the end of the year. The contract is obviously due at the end of this year. The final deadline to assign the remaining funds required for resolution for March 31st, 2025. We have all the money spent for March 31st, 2026. So just a quick note on there as well, that since the residual amounts from 2024 are being used to cover our 2025 expenses, the overall budgets have been revised for the 2 years. Okay. So, resolution is considérant le ministère des Affaires municipales et de l'habitation a conclu avec la MRC de Pontiac une entente financière signée au 31 mars 2020 et considérant l'entente avec les volets 2, soutien au développement des compétences locales et régionales des MRC permet la réalisation de projets en fonction des priorités établies régionales. Il est proposé et résolu d'adopter le budget FRL 2 24-25 tel que présenté, which is what right on the board right there.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Terry. Any comments or questions for Terry on this? Could I have someone move the resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And then we go on to 17.4, delegate to the Board of Directors of the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce. Terry.
Yes, we need a resolution to formalize the MRC seat on the Board of Directors of the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce. So considering that the MRC has a seat on the Board of Directors of the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce, considering that the regional cooperation is important to the MRC Pontiac, considering that the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce develops projects and supports sustainable economic development of the Pontiac, it is proposed to resolve to appoint Rachel Salvandé, the Economic Development Housing Agent, as the MRC Pontiac representative on the Board of Directors for the Pontiac Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much. Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. Gosh, I'm on a roll. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And 17.5, MRC Delegate, Credo Board of Directors, Terry.
Yes, une résolution pour officialiser le siège MRC sur le CA du Credo. MRC a un siège sur le Credo. Ceci est pour formaliser la représentation sur le CA avec l'agent en environnement Jacob Denetz, coordinateur en environnement. So we need that resolution for Jacob.
Okay, great. Moved by Mayor Doris Ronche. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. 17.6, episode plenary aventure, RDS network, resolution Terry.
Yep, the MRC was offered an opportunity to host a plenary aventure on RDS, that's the French sports channel. Anybody knows, wants to know. A show that showcases outdoor activities and accessible to everyone. This episode will highlight our region, its energy and its local business through inspiring experiences. So this is part of our job to promote the Pontiac. It is at a cost of to the ministry. To the MRC of $5,000 coming out of the tourism budget, which is being matched by Goodaway Tourism for $5,000 as well.
Thank you. Any comments or questions about this? Moved by, question. Please go ahead, Premier Wells.
It's not so much a question about the program as it is that particular thing is in French twice.
Good point. It should say episode Belair Adventure. It's
That's
just,
gotta be-
it's that he's noticing it
Oh,
as
where it is.
twice.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you.
It's a title of the.
Oh, it's the title, so they don't translate it? Yes. But it is a good point still, if we want to be truly bilingual. Thank you for pointing that out. Would someone like to move the resolution moved by Mayor Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong? All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 17.7. Media tour rolling ban resolution, Terry.
Yeah, so once again, we were approached by Tourism Goodaway and Rolling Band, which is a podcast, I want to say, to promote different areas. So we're coming to the Pontiac and we love our van life destination Pontiac thing. So they're hoping to do this with us again. Once again, it's a resolution for $5,000 coming out of the tourism budget. And Tourism Goodaway is putting $7,000 to this one actually. So, and we'll have access to some footage and reels and stories and stuff.
Very good, thank you. Any comments or questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Pro Mayor Sweeney.
How does this different from the previous van tour? They did the 14,000 reasons.
This is actually done with Rolling Band, so they have their own. We're teaming up with them.
Okay, because we did have a van come with their own AV and recording equipment and interview people in every municipality, so this is different from that?
Tourism, Goodaway.
This is in partnership with Tourism Goodaway. It's a continuous promotion of our van life.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're not
Another version.
redoing the same thing, right? We're doing something more,
We are getting.
building on.
Something more.
We are getting an extreme amount of interest from our van life portfolio, I guess is the best way to say it. And I think this is definitely something that is continuing to be.
Perfect, as long as it's building on what we already have. That's great. Thank you for clarifying.
Mayor Corey Spence.
I just want to add to her comment saying that you know, it's good that we're promoting we're getting new material for the MRC Pontiac that's constantly going out and being marketed to the area. So plus we're getting funding from the other place, like it's great.
New materials, great.
There are many mayors around the table who have halts or whatever you call them, rest stops. Do you see them often, like all the time? All the time. At near the Riviera and also Pro Warden Armstrong, I think along by the Red Bridge.
And downtown Campbell's Bay,
The shoots. Yeah. 1, 2, and in Portage, yeah, so it's great. It's wonderful. Patro as well. Beach. Yeah, so it's kind of a niche for the Pontiac. It's something that has really caught on. It's great, thank you very much. And so we need a resolution, and so who with all of these, Mayor Lynn Cameron would like to move it? All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 17.8, agreement extension class au jeune en Réunion Pontiac, Terry Leclerc.
Okay, so after launching, the Place aux Jeunes Pontiac project, the Carrefour Jeunesse Pontiac has, seen great success. In order to keep the program going, a financial contribution from the region is required in order to secure their primary funding source. For this reason, the MRC has supported them since 2022, and it is recommended to continue funding, to keep this program going. In order to line up our financial agreements with our funding sources, we are recommending an extension until the end of 2025. So the resolution reads as, so whereas MRC passed resolution CM 2021-02-2013 to support Place aux Jeunes en Région Pontiac, whereas financial support is granted to local organizations, partners, promoters that deploy the PAJ project on their territory, whereas the partner promoters of the PAJ project must be supported by their local community, notably a 20% financial contribution from the community, whereas the Carrefour Jeunesse Ouest Pontiac acts as a partner promoter of the project to bring Place aux Jeunes en Région to the Pontiac, and whereas it is necessary for local partners to carry out this project, it is therefore proposed and resolved that the MRC Pontiac extend their financial contribution to the Place aux Jeunes Pontiac project with a financial support of $15,000 for fiscal years for 2024 and 2025. Be it further resolved to authorize the signing of the amendment to the partnership agreement with Carrefour Jeunesse Ouest Pontiac for the Place aux Jeunes en Région Pontiac project, and will be it further resolved that the funds will be taken from the FRR2 budget. Resolution.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions about this? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution moved by Mayor Donna Gagnon? All those in favor? Opposed, so that carries. Okay, thank you very much, Terry. Great job. We don't have any miscellaneous items, so number 19, closing of the meeting. Who would like to move this resolution? Lady in green, the St. Patrick's Day, Mayor Odette Hogan. All those in favor? Opposed, and the meeting is. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, we all know.